Why Christians? Remember, the Soviet Union made a statement that we could control all of our entire population except the Christians, and they had to put them in prison and in gulags. And I remember in 1994 when I was in the CIA, we were ordered into a conference room. We all filed in. There's about 30 of us, and our division chief starts off by saying, "Now, don't get mad at me. I'm just the messenger." This comes down from the director of the CIA. You can no longer say Merry Christmas in any CIA office space. You cannot have a manger scene on your desk or on your door, or you will face administrative penalties. And the sad part was only two of us, our jaws dropped. Like, what? And the CIA was actively against the Christians, and they used DEI as a method to suppress them. And I remember it was Christmas Eve, and I walked out. I thought about this, prayed about this overnight, and I said, "Oh, no, you don't." So I walked out on New Year's Eve, and I turned around to everybody, and I said, "Good night, and by the way, Merry Christmas." I'm like, there is a line you don't cross. Well, there was an outrage from the CIA populace, and as evil people always do, when they got resistance, they backed off and said, "Well, never mind," But it has been Christianity, because the Christians are the only ones that will not answer to tyranny. We believe in God and a higher power, and we will not be manipulated by a tyrannical regime. And that's why Christians are despised around the world, including in this previous administration. My goodness. And going back to Obama.
They did the same thing about your stance on the border. If you don't think this country should stop an invasion at the southern border, if you thought that there should actually be rules for coming into America, then you're the problem.
All right, let's go to the reason why Donald Trump is making some moves. And if you look at him from judgment, not saying that he's judging, because people are like, "You're trying to say that Donald Trump is God. You think you worship Donald Trump? Oh, you stupid Negro. You worship Donald Trump. You sell out." No, but I know he's anointed by God. And I know that God is doing his will through him. Ain't no doubt about it. Ain't no mountain high enough. Ain't no valley low enough. Ain't no mountain high enough to keep me from you. Sorry, musical Tourette's again. And that's why we got to cover this right here. Trump orders federal law enforcement to patrol D.C. plagued by violent crime for far too long. Yeah. Well, man, what you talking about, James? Now, let's go back to the chart real quick. Let's go back to the chart. Now, in Assyria, there's fear, domination, and warfare, terror, and siege, and they target your will and what? Safety. What happens to Assyrians? They get overthrown. So here we go. Now we're going into D.C. Now, this is important for every blue city. You're going to watch this in blue cities now. You're going to watch this. You think the redistricting and rezoning in Texas is a part of an overthrowing that's happening based upon them people being damn Assyrians around there. All the high crime, all the damn drugs, all the foolishness. So now you're seeing them being overthrown. You're literally watching the coup, the overthrowing of them. So when people turn on the news and they're like, yeah, Fox News tonight, they're standing out at the scene. James Williams reporting for Fox News. We're out here outside of the Texas Capitol, where Democrat lawmakers have been arrested by the FBI, and they're being flown back to Texas and escorted in chains into the Texas House to vote on the redistricting. More at 10. And then he'll come back out, put the microphone in front of somebody's face. "How do you feel about being arrested?" It was unfair. It was unfair. They sent the FBI to treat us like we was criminals. And then they'll cry and whine, and people be like, "Oh, the Republicans are so evil and so wicked." No. Your ass is being overthrown according to spiritual rules and laws. So D.C. currently being overthrown. Not by him, not by Donald. Through Donald. And once you understand this, once you see it, once you behold it, once your eyes behold what's going on, it's so beautiful and glorious. That's why I cover it like this, because I want you to see. You know what I'm saying? I feel like Rick James right now. I want you to see it. I want you to see it, man. I feel like fire and desire. You turned on my fire, baby, and you burned me up within your flames. Fire and desire. I'm telling you, I want you to see this. So you don't get tossed to and fro emotionally. And then more importantly, so your biblical doctrine can't be shaken. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. There's plenty of people that come to me. James, Jesus ain't real. That Bible that you're reading is a fairy tale story. Shut your behind up. That's why I tell them, your ass gonna burn in hell. Yeah, you gonna burn in hell. Now, you're going to burn in hell because you don't believe, but since you're trying to shake my faith, Daddy, he need to burn in hell. Because I'm sitting here watching the big man do his work. Watching him do work. Don't believe me, just watch. Don't believe me, just watch. Hey, 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 hey. We're watching him do the work, but people can't see the work. But he putting in work. The big man now put on his ski mask, his gloves, came out, and start busting shots all over the place, but nobody wants to see it. Now, I'm going to tell you what I'm excited about seeing. You see, we got a group of people in this nation that want to build an altar to another God named Allah. That's when I'm going to be up in here jumping up and down on this cheap desk and breaking it. Because I'm going to be elbowing the desk, boom, going crazy. I'm like, what's wrong with this dude? You see, calm down. Trump orders federal law enforcement to parole D.C., plagued by violent crime for too long. Now, wait. Let me go to something else. Did you notice that it took big balls to get stumped on to get Donald Trump and Elon Musk back on the same page? It was a kid named Big Balls that provoked this action. You don't see the irony in that? A young man, fights 15 carjackers named Big Balls, which takes big balls to fight 15 carjackers. And then it provokes this action. It's just like the judgment coming against the WNBA. The WNBA full of women who are, and then people throwing stuff on a court, embarrassing them. Every game. Well, DW, you trying to say, yeah. Exposure, they're being exposed and they're being mocked. Remember, it was the week before. We need to get paid more money. No, you don't. You be happy. But anyway, let me stop. Calm down. Trump orders federal law enforcement to patrol D.C. plagued by violent crime for too long. President Trump has ordered federal law enforcement officers to patrol the streets of Washington, D.C. for the next 7 days to crack down on violent crime. Why 7 days? The federal presence will be led by U.S. Park Police and will reportedly include officers and agents from FBI, DEA, and ATF divisions of Immigration and Customs Enforcement and other agencies, per The Hill. Thursday's order came after a March executive order establishing Making D.C. Safe Again, a beautiful task force to ensure effective federal participation in the enforcement of immigration laws and redirecting resources to apprehend, deport migrants in Washington, D.C., as well as monitoring its sanctuary city status to comply with the federal immigration laws, noted the outlet. Now, I'm going to prepare you for something. You see, there's a lot of little Negroes out there in D.C. that's gang members. I'm going to tell y'all need to go in the house and sit down. Go on and sit down. I know you think you're tough. I know you think you're shooters. I know. You ain't that tough, dog. You ain't that tough. Hold on. I want to hear what the news saying about this one. Shout out to MAGA Big Balls. There it is. MAGA Big Balls. I want to make sure I give him credit for pulling this clip. And what Donald Trump is doing is increasing the presence, ouch, my elbow hurt, federal officers in the areas of high traffic and high crime. Now, why is that important? Because, you see, if he puts these federal officers in place and he does it for 7 days, that's why it's a 7-day test run, and the crime goes just drops, now he's built the case for taking it over completely. So when they get to crying and whining and all the rest of this, Donald Trump is a dictator. He did this. Now I got the data. Over the past 7 days, for 3 months before that, we had this crime. We were there for 7 days where people knew that they was going to get their behind locked up. They won't let me out. Like Akon in his little African city that he never built. When they realize that they're going to get locked up and they stay inside the house, then we're going to find out something. We're going to realize that them little children got some sense. Yeah. And that's the thing about criminals. Criminals ain't dumb. No, you ain't. Criminals tend to be some of the most genius people on the planet. But when you give them free reign, you have these kind of issues. And Donald is overthrowing these people right now. Yeah, hold on. Watch this.
Trump, it's not a secret how he feels about violence in the city, and it's resulted in this. We are outside of Union Station this morning because the White House says you can now expect to see more police presence in touristy areas of D.C. In fact, there were several things announced by the White House yesterday. Check it out. For the next 7 days, and potentially longer than that, you can expect to see federal officers in marked units patrolling what the Trump administration is calling high-traffic tourist areas and other hotspots. We are not sure exactly what those hotspots are. The increase in law enforcement presence is supposed to start each night at midnight. We are talking quite a few agencies here, guys, just to name a few of them. Metro Transit Police, Amtrak Police, U.S. Capitol Police, the DEA, and the FBI. Look here, the ATF Washington office, that's the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives. They posted this picture just before 2 a.m. this morning, showing them apparently pulling over a car along Georgia Avenue. Tony Millette, this is obviously not the first time that we have heard the president talk about Washington, D.C. as a city. By now you know he has threatened to take over Washington, D.C., and as we wait to see what happens there, one thing is for sure, you will definitely see an increased police presence for at least the next 7 days, guys.
Yeah. And I'm going to tell you, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it because these spirit cities, these sanctuary cities, and it's crazy that they say we're a sanctuary city. Think about sanctuary city, a sanctuary for refugees, but you just think that just normal people coming in there? You don't think that they bringing in all the spirits that came with them? We're a sanctuary city. No, you sanction your behind the hell out of office. Yeah. They need to get the hell out of office.
Straight to our top story at 6 o'clock. You can expect an increased federal law enforcement presence in D.C. today. CNN is reporting that the Trump administration is beefing up that presence in response to crime concerns. Glad you're with us this Thursday morning. I'm Adam Longo.
And I'm Melanie Hastings, in for Adriana Hopkins. The president saying that he might bring in the National Guard to help control crime in the city. Trump was also asked about overturning the D.C. Home Rule Act, which allows residents to elect a mayor and council members. So listen to his response.
We're going to look at that. In fact, the lawyers are already studying it. We have to run D.C. This has to be the best run place in the country, not the worst run place in the country. And it has so much potential, and we're going to take care of it.
Now, all of this comes after a former employee at the Department of Government Efficiency was badly beaten early Sunday by a group of teenagers.
And 7 News reporter John Gonzalez is live where that attack happened and is speaking with D.C. residents about their crime concerns. John, what are they telling you?
Melanie, good morning. Yeah, some are saying that they do believe that change is needed, but I got to tell you, a small sampling, but most of them telling us they don't feel more unsafe here in these parts of town. Now, I got to tell you, we've noticed more police in areas like DuPont Circle and here in Logan Circle already this morning. And this right here is where that violent attack took place here on Swan Street, right near 14th Street, early Sunday morning. That former Doge employee was severely beaten during what police are describing as an attempted carjacking. A 15-year-old boy and a 15-year-old girl from Hyattsville have been arrested. At least 8 others got away. Now, President Trump called the suspects thugs and said he'd push to have minors as young as 14 tried as adults in the future. But city officials say crime in the area is actually going down. Violent offenses in Logan Circle dropped 30% over the past year. So we are asking residents how they feel. I spoke with Quintez Washington, who works for District Bridges, a nonprofit street outreach organization connecting the youth with resources. trying to minimize crimes like carjackings.
I can tell you right now, I ain't interested in what this Negro got to say because he's going to be black, number one. Number two, he said they already told me everything I need to hear, that he's a part of a non-profit. That means that he's got his money from the city of Washington, D.C. I don't care what he got to say. Y'all want to hear what he got to say? I'm going to let y'all hear, but I don't care because it's obvious. I ain't got to hear it. I already know what it's going to be. I already know what it's going to be. Watch. It's going to be victimization. We need the help. We need some help. We need, the carjackings is out of control, but you got to understand the reason why the carjackings is happening. And he's going to make an excuse. Yeah. You got a whole nonprofit to help kids not jack cars? That's real simple. Lock their stupid behind up. Lock them up. Oh, we trying to take these youths off the streets and give them something to do with their time and this, that. No, that crap don't work. That's a money racket. Yeah. I'm going to tell you like this. You see, if I was a gangster, I would start a nonprofit. It may take me 2 years to get it up and running. And I would turn around and I go give me some federal funding for what I'm doing right now. Yeah, I would go get fair funding for what I'm doing right now. And then I'll take that money, make sure I manage it right so they can't come lock me up and won't let me out. Then I'll funnel it back to some politicians through another way and grow in power and increase in power and grow and grow and grow and grow and take that money and put that money into a trust where they can't touch it. Y'all, this 500,000 subscriber audience is more than enough to garner a hell of a lot of power when you know how to play the game of power. So this little dude right here done got plugged in and he gonna be giving them donations back. That's just the game. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm gonna say this about Washington, D.C. I want you to understand this. 10 years ago, when we used to go to Washington, D.C. for Mardi Gras and head up to Shelley's back room, it was violent out there in them streets. Now, Shelley's back room is a cigar bar there. Nice, really, really phenomenal. Oh my God, that place is amazing. It really is amazing. It was violent back then. Yeah, it was violent. And we walking with people who are in government. And they like, nah, bro, we got to watch it around here. I'm like, nah, dog, you work in the government. It's not like you an aide to a congressman. What you mean? Nah, I ain't got no protection, homie. Ain't nothing, carjack me at will. What? It's 10 years ago. Hell, that might have been 20 years ago. It was 20 years ago. Yeah, because my kids were young. 20 years ago, man. It's crazy.
I agree with Trump to a degree, but I also think it is a form of tribalism. He's interested in protecting his own interests and his own employees. So it makes sense.
And of course, DC.
See? Excuses. I do agree with Trump to a certain extent, but it's a form of tribalism. Let's say it was tribalism, Negro. Let's just say it was. Let's just say he only cared about the white man. He didn't care about no other man in D.C. but the white man. Let's just say that's what Donald Trump was doing. I'm Donald and I'm racist and I don't care about anybody but the white man. And I'm cracking down on crime. Is that not going to help your community to stop them children from acting a damn fool? Now, we know that's not true. But you got to understand that man don't want to go out of business because he needs his money. He need to get his cash injection. And it's probably $15,000, $20,000 a year. It ain't no whole bunch of money. You know what I'm saying? He ain't the type. He don't look like the type that's going to get $3, $4, $5 million. Now, he ain't getting a whole bunch. If we just look at him, he ain't getting a whole bunch of money. Let me go back. Let me show you his face. No. He not a wolf. That's a sheep. He gonna get indicted somewhere along the road. Get about 5 more years. He gonna get indicted for what he doing for some kind of investment. He not a wolf. He's a sheep. The point I'm making to you is this. This judgment and this overthrow of all these blue cities is what comes next. Now, some things may have to happen in certain cities for them to be overthrown. I'm sorry. Some stuff might have to blow up. Some mass shootings may happen. Things are going to happen to where these crackdowns come in. But this is the first one you're seeing. And watch what I'm saying. It's going to happen in all these blue cities. It has to happen. It has to happen in order for us to overthrow and cast out all these damn citizens of other cities and nations and spirit cities. It's got to happen.